Welcome to my channel of Mike the Birdman of Minnesota. I hope you're enjoying Adventures of Chris and Mike on my channel. I'm starting a new segment on our 2005 visit to the Grand Portage Fort. I hope you enjoy this glimpse into the voyagers' experience from the past.
The wild rice?
This is the wild rice, what the Ojibwe or Anishinaabe call manoman. The native wild rice which is grown here naturally throughout the years. Very important not only to the native Ojibwe, but also to the fur traders and the voyageurs who passed through there, because they had to learn many of the native ways and customs in order to survive. And wild rice could be harvested in quantity and then the excess stores traded to the voyageurs and traders. So what I'm doing here is the second stage of processing the wild rice. First of all, because it grows in the inland lakes and rivers, you have to use a canoe to harvest it. But then once you collect it by knocking it from the plants into your canoe, you then bring it up on shore and spread it out and dry it out. Because it's a living plant, it will rot quickly if it's not spread out to dry. But to preserve it, there's a three-stage process, starting with the parching of the rice. So we use a cast iron kettle up on the fire pit and stir it continuously so it doesn't burn, but that dries out the husk and it in essence cooks it, and then it's preserved and it will last almost indefinitely as long as you keep it dry. But in order to eat it after it's parched, you have to separate the husk or hull from the seed, and that's what I'm doing here in the pit. Is I've dumped the still warm wild rice from the parching kettle into the pit here. I've got it lined with a clean deer skin and special moccasins to keep the rice clean. And here a dancing motion like this is done in order to mechanically grind that hull off of the seed. So this will be an ongoing process for about a half hour or more of steady churning like this, at which time I can put it in a winnowing tray. This was the last batch, and you can see here it has a lot of the chaff in. To separate that, a lot of times on a windy day, you can blow the chaff off like that. And then the finished seed, being heavier, is what's left, and so this is the finished wild rice. And unlike much of the wild rice you find in the store, this is broken into many little pieces. That's because I'm heavy enough where I crack the rice in the process. Historically, the Ojibwe would have their teenagers do it, because they had the energy and they weren't so heavy, cracking the rice.
Music by kind permission of Dan Nestor. Stay tuned to my channel for more of our visit to the Grand Portage Fort, and please subscribe to my channel.